All right, guys, hello and welcome to the first episode of our Bannerlord campaign. Now, this is something I talked about doing here for a little bit. Haven't really gotten around to it, but just recently I decided to lock in, start cooking this up, and get it going for you all. You know I do a lot of streams on the channel, but we don't have a lot of regular upload content, so I figure, you know what? I love Bannerlord, and I've been wanting to do a playthrough of it for a hot minute now, but for me personally, I don't like streaming Bannerlord because there's some slow points in it, you know? There's a lot of downtime, if you will. So I figured, you know what? Let's take it. Let's make it into a full playthrough that we'll do on the channel and have some fun with it, you know? So I do kind of want to say this here at the start. This is not how it was normally going to go. I was not going to do a post-recording voiceover on the videos because I was going to do live commentary, but I quickly learned that I'm not that great at live commentary off of stream. I don't know what it is. It just felt super duper awkward, and I don't know why. I was listening to myself on the recording and I was like, man, I'm struggling out there. I'm having a hard time. So what we're going to do for this episode is it's going to be a little bit chopped up. There's going to be a lot of me talking right now, kind of telling you guys how this playthrough is going to work, and there's going to be some of the gameplay for the early on aspects of the game, because I did kind of want to start things when I got to Clan Tier 1, because that's kind of when the game picks up. For anyone that's played Bannerlord before, you know that first Clan Tier 0 period is a little bit tedious, you know, getting up there to Clan Tier 1 so you can kind of become a mercenary, start doing bigger fights and all that. So for this episode, what we're going to do is I'm going to do this post-recording commentary, talking about things. But in the future, it's going to be a mixture. I'll do a little bit of this, and for example, when I'm doing a battle, you'll hear me live narrating the battles so you guys can tell what's going on. And yeah, like I said, just a bit of a mixture between the two. But yeah, I have not played War Sales yet since it came out. I just recently picked it up, and I was like, you know what? We're going to do a little bit of modding. We're going to put some fun things in here, and we're going to go ahead and do our first campaign on the War Sales expansion. Right now, you're probably looking at my character here, Harald Ironfjord, all right? He is a Nord, all right? And this is not particularly going to be a Nord playthrough. I'm not only going to be using the Nords. I'm kind of just going to play it by ear and casually play through the game. But I did make my background as a Nord because, well, you know, it's different, right? It's something I haven't done yet, obviously, so I wanted to do it. Something else that's a little different with this playthrough is I actually started at age 40. Now, I know that's a little weird, but I figured, you know what? I kind of wanted to have my character be a bit stronger than not, getting some extra focus points, some extra attribute points, and I figured, okay, I'll start at age 40, dump really heavy into medicine skill, and hopefully get those perks in time that keep us from gives us a chance to cheat death a few times, and hopefully he'll stick around for a little bit, you know? If not, one of the very early goals is going to be getting married, you know, having some kids, making sure the bloodline continues on after him in case something tragic does end up happening, right? Normally, I would start at age 20. You know, that's what I've always done when I do campaigns, but I was like, you know what? Let's make an old, or I guess older, I don't know if you want to say 40's old, right? That's up to you, but an older, grizzled kind of veteran who's setting off from Nordland on his own here, right? And making something of himself, you know? Now, like I said, I do have some mods running on this. I didn't go too crazy, but I did add a few things in that for me add a bit of immersion to the game. I'm a big immersion kind of person, so just a couple of things to spice it up a little bit. Now, I'm playing on version 1.3.15. I know there's the 1.4 beta patch that adds some cool stuff in there, like the sea raids, takes away the cavalry bonus for the AI in simulated battles, which makes it so like Valandia and the Khuzait don't just steamroll you off rip. But I was like, okay, a lot of the mods I wanted to use weren't up to date, so what we'll do is when 1.4 does come out to like the main stuff and the mods start getting updated, I'll probably do a campaign on the 1.4 patch. But For now, we're still on like the 1.3.15, I think is what it is, with our mods. So I got the big one here. I got the RTS camera, and I've actually never used the RTS camera, I'll be honest. You'll see me in some of these little clips that are going to be up on screen while I'm playing, using it for the first time. And yeah, I'm a little clumsy with it, but it's just nice to kind of be able to speed the game up on the battlefield, especially in battles where it's very much you kind of like chasing down the enemy. They're backing up, you're attacking. Makes it a lot quicker. It's not like a 20-minute endeavor to run them down, you know, and clear them out. It's just boom bada bing, right? You know, so it's good to have, right? Top of that, I got diplomacy. Now that's kind of like a staple. That thing's been around for years. Adds a lot of extra stuff to the kingdom management. And in this current campaign where we're at right now, it's really made things feel kind of interesting because a lot of the people, like for example, Vlandia, who normally just kind of steamroll through, like from what I've gathered, again, I haven't played War Sales myself, but I've seen videos obviously, and like Vlandia usually like goes through and steamrolls the Nords. They kind of start pushing into Britannia. That's not really happening right now because I think they've had some treaties going on, whether it was like alliances or some kind of like deal that you can make with the diplomacy mod. They've just been chilling, right? So it's really cool to see how just something as simple as that changes the geography of the map, you know? Something else I have in here is a couple of the true mods. Now I have True Relations and True Noble Opinion, I believe is what, yeah, True Noble Opinion is the one. Just makes it so there's other ways to build your relationship with nobles and notables by, like, you know, taking out bandit parties near their settlements, helping them in combat. That'll raise your relationship. And then True, what is it? True Relations, I think is the one I just said. Yeah, that makes it so, or it's one of the two. I can't remember which one. It makes it so when you do go ahead, let's say I donate prisoners to a dungeon, let's say I hand over another lord to a town that's not mine, instead of getting a relationship with the entirety of the clan, it's just the clan leader. So you have to build your relationships with each individual character, which to me is a lot of fun. You know, it makes it so, like, let's say I am friends with the leader of XYZ clan, and I go see him and I help him out, and he's like, yo, what's good, big dog, right? Let's say I go up to one of his vassals. He's not going to be like, yo, what's up, man? He's going to be like, I don't know you, you know? And I got to build another relationship. I think that's a lot of fun, personally. I think that's a good time. And to also help with that, I got a bit of a sleeper pick here, and I like this one personally a lot, and that's Bannerlord. It adds some crazy stuff into the game where the NPCs will now interact with each other. For example, my companions right now are all becoming homies. Like, I looked at their, like, relationship statuses, and, like, they're all, like, best friends. They got 100 relationship with each other, you know? And I'm like, oh, wow, okay, damn. They're out here becoming good friends, and, like, it's really cool to see that. And it also gives you a way to interact with your hired companions and talk to them and, like, build a relationship up with them. And it's again a little bit of immersion to it, right? And it also helps with, like, again, having individual relationships with each lord. There's a particular person I want to be friends with, I can strike up a conversation, talk to them, you know, win them over that way, as well as, like, do quests and, like, help them in battle, you know? Gives options, right? Now, there is a bit of a gooner aspect to it. Let's just keep it real, okay? You know, there's some nefarious things that can happen with the mod, but personally, I'm not actively seeking those out, right? For example, I think one of the last times I used it, one of the leaders, I think it was Ragenvad of Sturgia, he got caught cheating on his wife, and they got a divorce. So, you know, this stuff can get really crazy with this mod, and I think it adds a little bit of extra world building to the campaign, where, like, you could have this big, powerful leader just completely crumble because it gets into some kind of scandal, and that's kind of fun for me, and I like the drama, you know what I'm saying? And of course, I got some of the basics. I got Raise Your Banners, adds more banners to, like, the armies. I think it's like for every 17 units, you get a banner up there. So, you know, it looks cooler when you're marching your big infantry line up and you're holding the banners, or your cavalry's charging in, right? You know, you got this big line of banners with you, you know? It's pretty cool. Perfect fire arrows. You know, I got some, you know, how would I say this? Just so I can see the arrows at night, I guess is the way to put it. I think that's always nice. Adds, again, a little bit of immersion to it, you know? Fixed banner performance, you know, just again fixes the performance of banners. You can assume that one. Dismemberment, you gotta have dismemberment in your game, in my opinion. It's almost a must-have, so you can just hack and slash your enemies. Tons of fun. And the last one that I put in here that I really enjoy, because it adds a little bit more to when you become a like a vassal or a ruler or whatever. You own your own settlements. Hold court. You know, you can go in, you can sit down. Each day, people will come up with their petitions, and you can talk to them, and it builds like your skills in, like, you know, calculating, valor, like honesty, your honor, all that stuff, right? Like that will level as you do this. And again, it's just a mechanic that lets you be able to level that stuff up a little bit easier. So if you wanted to like make your character specifically like some honorable valor, like lord or whatever, you know, you could like pick those decisions, kind of RP it in that way, right? Which is fun, you know. It's a nice little bonus to be thrown in there. So yeah, right now in the background, guys, you're probably just seeing a lot of the starting stuff, me doing some tournaments, me doing some hideouts. There's actually one point, maybe it's already gone by, I'm not sure. I'll have to like maybe do a little bit of editing here so you can see it while I'm talking about it. But I did a hideout, like snuck in, trying to level my roguery, because I am leveling roguery in this playthrough. And I got through it and got to the end, but then like every enemy just past the arrow bin aggroed to me out of nowhere, and I was like, whoa! And I failed it, even though I snuck through perfectly, right? It was really weird. I'm curious if that's happened to you. If that's happened to you guys, let me know in the comments below. Is that normal? It was specifically, I think, a Sea Raider camp. I did do other raids, or not raids, excuse me, like sneaking into the hideouts. I didn't show every single one. But I did other ones like the Forest Bandits, and that didn't happen. So I'm curious if it's only with the Sea Raiders, the way the camp is, maybe. Not entirely sure, but it was just a weird interaction where like I did it, but I failed. You know what I mean? And I did fail a couple of times here. All right, I might not show every little bit. You might see some of it as I put it in here. But I did get captured a couple times by bandits, specifically Sea Raiders. You know, as I was punching a little bit above my pay grade. Overestimated the Nord tier 2 units a couple of times, right? I thought they were gonna be a little stronger, but that's okay. You know, but that's part of the game, right? It's like you fail and you get back up, you know? And as I said, this isn't gonna be the normal way we do things. I'm not just gonna do a voiceover like over the gameplay. I will be talking like live commentary in the battles and stuff like that, and then outside of the battles, I'll do a little bit of this, talk about what's going on in the campaign, and kind of update you this way, because again, I don't know what it was. I was so awkward talking to the camera. Like, you know, you've been around the channel for a little bit, you know, we do quite a few streams, you know what I mean, and we do a lot of yapping, and for some reason this time around I was having a hard time. So there's no real goal for this campaign. I don't have an end game in mind. I'm really just kind of playing it by ear, you know. Who become a vassal, or who will we become a vassal with? I don't know, you know. We're gonna just kind of go wherever the wind takes us. I know right now we are clear at this point, right? I am clan tier 1. We are doing some mercenary work. I think we've been fighting a lot with the Northern Empire. They've been getting bombarded. Poor Lucan, him in his old age, he's having a rough go, you know. You got the Sturgians coming in. I think you might see it here. I'm not entirely sure. But they take Argon, is that the name of the city? They take that from him, the Sturgians of all people, right? Like, we know the Sturgians. They got kind of screwed in these recent updates. They have got a lot going for them. They came barreling down in force, you know, and started snatching things up. I did get a contract offer from Regea, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go all the way south, because I am enjoying using these Nord troops. I can get easy access to them when I'm with the Northern Empire. I can kind of just go north, you know, swing by a couple of the towns, come back down, bada bing, bada boom, right? But yeah, making a lot of money. I think the contract's like 300 gold, you know, with the influence, right? And it's nice. It's a lot of money early on. Really trying to save up for a couple of ships right now too. Get a couple of big ships and make a little bit of a navy, you know. Well, what's the big ship there? The Empire ship, the Drummond. I almost bought one of those, but they want like 120k for that. That's a lot of my money. So I'm like sitting around that threshold where like I have just enough, but I'd be broke if I bought it. So I think, you know, not this episode probably, but the next episode, you'll see me really kind of saving up money, doing a lot of combat, trying to build up the capital to go ahead and get that navy built. And then we're going to take to the waters, you know. Been really using a lot of the naval units. I know the Nautes for the Imperials. Listen, I watch a lot of my boy Tactical Enlightenment. Okay, and I know those Nautes. They're real good. All right, they're real good units. You know, and you'll see me. I try and do some tactical plays with how I play the game. Not that great at it. You know, I know a couple of the things. There actually might be a battle here that you'll see in the background while I'm yapping. There was. I choke pointed. It was like we were super outnumbered against the Southern Empire, I think is what it was. And I like went inside of like a ring almost in a village, like where the crops are, the fences. Had a square blocking the entrance. Had my archers lined inside of that. Had some infantry like with the archers. And like as the cavalry came through, they were getting shot up. It was perfect. It felt so good to do. I think you'll see it pop up here at some point. It's a really fun fight, and that's what I love about Bannerlord. You know, there's difficulty to it of tactics and the knowledge of like how, like, you know, you can in a sense cheese the AI. I hate to say it like that. I don't think cheese is the right word, but you know, the AI does do things in a certain way. I did a lot of combat against horse archers, and just like, you know, they're always going to come to your left to shoot you, so you kind of like get out in front of them, you know, let them come around you, and you kind of block them off, right? It's fun. It's enjoyable. But yeah, you know, like I said, you know, the next video, it's not going to be this awkward. It's not going to be me just rambling over the gameplay. It's very much, I would say, is an introductory video to what's going to be happening here in the future. I'm going to try and get like maybe like 2 or 3 of these uploaded a week for you guys, where there'll be some like jump cuts. I'm not going to show you every moment of gameplay. Very much going to record the things that are interesting that are happening. Update you guys regularly on where we're at, what we're doing, and again, just, you know, have some fun with it, right? But yeah, I think that's where I'll leave you guys. You know, there's probably still some gameplay going on in the background. I'll just let it run, and you know, towards the end, I'll have a couple of battles going. You guys will see it. You'll see what's going on, see how we're playing the game, and you know, I'm looking forward to some more of it, right? You know, in the next video, probably break down where we're at with the character, what we're building, what we're doing, some story development, right? You know, maybe we go, I mean, okay, we're getting a lot of money from the Northern Empire. I don't know if I want to leave them just yet, but, you know, maybe we move on to a new group. We start being a mercenary for them. We're getting pretty close. Like after I was done recording, we were like halfway to Clan Tier 2, I think, something like that. I don't know. But maybe next episode we hit Clan Tier 2, you know? And maybe we become a vassal, maybe we don't. I don't know. I kind of like to wait until like Clan Tier 3 or 4 before I do that. So we'll see where the wind takes us, right? We're very much wandering. We gotta get a wife soon too. That's a big goal. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it. I'll see you soon. All right, I appreciate you. You made it this far. You know, it means a lot. And like I said, we'll see you on the next one. Okay. Take care, everybody.